Once again, I welcome you all to daily editorial analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 20th of August 2024. Displayed here are the list of news articles that we are going to discuss today. Now, before entering into the news article discussion, I have an important announcement for you. The most awaited pre-storming UPSC prelims test series 2025 batch 1 is starting from 6th September 2024. As usual, we have 48 tests to be covered. So, if clearing UPSC prelims is your biggest nightmare, we have an option for you. Just enroll for it using the link given in the description. Along with that, we have a happy news for all the aspirants who are going to appear for the mains 2024 this year. The All India UPSC Mains Open Mock Test 2024 is open for registration. I have provided the registration link in the description. Just click the link, register and test your preparedness for your mains examination. So with these positive note, let us get into the news article discussion. Take a look at this news article. This news article discusses India's nuclear doctrine formulated in 1999 and its relevance in today's changing nuclear threat landscape. The article also explores whether the doctrine needs revision due to Pakistan and China's evolving nuclear capabilities and aggressive behavior. The article argues that India's doctrine of credible minimum deterrence and no first use policy remains valid, promoting nuclear stability, and also argues that the change in numbers and command structures can be made without altering the doctrine. So this is what the article is talking about. So in this news article discussion, let us revise about India's nuclear policy, challenges faced by India's nuclear policy, and some of the way forward. So let's start with India's nuclear policy. See, this doctrine is named Credible Minimum Deterrence, or in short called as CMD. The main objective of this policy is to deter nuclear attacks and protect national security. Now let us quickly go through the key components one by one. The first one is the no first use policy. This means that India will not initiate any nuclear strike. Secondly, retaliation only. If in case India is responding with a nuclear attack, it will be only in the event of nuclear attack. So this means that only when someone attacks us, the retaliation happens. Thirdly, minimum credible deterrence. It means India will maintain a sufficient nuclear capability. Now let us see the guiding principles of the nuclear policy of India. The first thing is self-defense. We'll use nuclear weapons only for defense and not for aggression. Thirdly, non-proliferation. We are also committed to non-proliferation efforts. And thirdly, disarmament. That is, we support for global nuclear disarmament. Now let us quickly go through the challenges faced by India's nuclear policy. See, the first challenge is regional security dynamics. Pakistan's growing nuclear arena coupled with its first use policy challenges India's no first use stance. For example, as of 2023, Pakistan reportedly possessed around 165 nuclear warheads, slightly ahead of India's estimated 164. Secondly, China's rapid modernization. This includes advanced missile system. This adds pressure to India's deterrence capabilities. Secondly, there is a challenge for credible minimum deterrence. See, this strategy fails because the adversaries, they enhance secondary strike capabilities. That is, they procure a lot and they grow up and up. So if this is the case, it actually defeats the credible minimum deterrence policy. And there is also technological gap with respect to India, and it undermines India's second strike capability. We need necessary investment in this particular region in order to strengthen our deterrence policy. Thirdly, India's refusal to sign the NPT and Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty (CTBT) isolates India in global disarmament efforts. This is potentially affecting its diplomatic standing. Finally, there are certain economic constraints. Maintaining a credible nuclear arsenal amid economic constraints poses a challenge. In 2023, India's defense budget allocation was $76.6 billion, with only a portion dedicated to nuclear force. So these are all certain challenges faced by the nuclear policy of India. Now let us quickly go through certain way forwards. See, the first way forward is to reaffirm the NFU commitment. We should continue to uphold the no first use policy while ensuring clarity and consistency in its nuclear doctrine to maintain strategic stability. Secondly, we should enhance deterrence. This should happen by investing in modernizing the nuclear triad. Here the triad is nothing but the land, air and the sea. And we should invest in the missile system including MIRVs and SLBMs. Thirdly, we should strengthen our diplomatic engagement and we should promote nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation through multilateral forums. This should happen side by side, where we should also seek entry into the NSG, that is the Nuclear Suppliers Group, to enhance India's role in the global nuclear governance. Fourthly, we should engage in confidence building measures with our neighboring nuclear powers, particularly with Pakistan and China. This will reduce the risk of miscalculation and escalations. Fifthly, there should be technological advancement. We should focus on developing advanced missile defense system and countermeasures to safeguard against emerging threats. This will ensure the credibility of India's deterrent posture. Finally, a balanced budget should be there. We should prioritize defense spending to ensure sustainable investment in nuclear capabilities without compromising other security and development needs. So these are all certain way forwards that you can quote for this particular question. Let me read out the question for you. Critically analyze India's no first use nuclear policy in the context of evolving regional security dynamics. So this is a 15 marker. When a critically analysis question is given, you have to write negatives higher than the positive points, but there should be positive points as well. So write an answer and post it in the comment section. Now let us move on to the next news article. Have a look at this news article. This news article talks about the recent observation by the IMF's Deputy Managing Director, highlighting the importance of improving workplace safety to boost women's participation in the labor force. See, in India, even with self-employed women, they earn only 38% of what men do. The female labor force participation rate is only 37%, which is also much lower than men's and below the global average, which is 47%. So all these highlight the gender inequality in both participation and earning in the labor force. So this is what the article is talking about. So in this news article discussion, let us revise what are the challenges faced by women in workplace and what measures have been taken by our government in this regard. See, here in this slide, you can see the trend as per periodic labor force survey conducted by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Here you can see that the labor force participation rate has increased from 23.3% to 37%. The worker population rate has increased from 22 to 35.9%. Now, even though they show a positive trend, still it is lower than the global average. So what are all the challenges faced by women in workplace? See, the first thing is the gender discrimination. Societal norms often confine women to domestic roles and limit their career opportunities from an early age. Secondly, there are safety concerns. There are restrictions on women's movement, especially for night shifts or travel. This also hinders their career growth. Thirdly, work-life balance. Women are expected to prioritize family duties and other domestic roles. This creates an unequal burden that affects their career. Fourthly, there are cultural barriers. Traditional beliefs prevent women from taking on certain jobs, limiting their professional advancement. Finally, there is lack of support policies. See, societal attitude lead to workplace policies. So again, this will restrict women's role, right? This requires broader societal reforms to address the challenges faced by the women. Apart from this, career gaps. There are career gaps only for women and not for men. So when they take a gap in between their career and come back and rejoin, they are getting paid lower than the market. So this also discourages the women to participate in the labor force. Now let us see what are all the measures taken to ensure women's safety. Firstly, the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013. This law was initiated by Women and Child Development Ministry. It protects all women from sexual harassment at work, regardless of their age, job status, or whether they work in the public or private sector. It covers all the employees, including volunteers and domestic workers, and requires employer to ensure harassment-free environment. Secondly, Criminal Law Amendment Act. This was amended by Ministry of Home Affairs recently. The law has been strengthened against crimes like voyeurism, stalking, and acid attacks. It also broadens the definition of rape and imposes stricter punishments for crimes against women. Apart from this, there are certain support system for working women. Firstly, Working Women Hostel. This hostel provides daycare services for children of the resident, and it provides financial support for hostels for working women who may be single, widowed, divorced, or living away from their families. Secondly, Investigation Tracking System for Sexual Offenders. It is an online tool launched by Ministry of Home Affairs to monitor and ensure timely investigation in sexual assault cases. This is required by the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2018. Apart from this, there is Emergency Response Number 112. This will provide quick response for distress calls. Then there is Cybercrime Portal. This portal allows citizens to report absence content online with cybercrime forensic lab established in several states for investigation. Then there is One Stop Center. It offers integrated support and 24/7 helpline service to women affected by violence. And there is also Mahila Police Volunteers. It is a collaborative initiative between Ministry of Women and Child Development and Ministry of Home Affairs. This program will engage women volunteers who assist police and support women in distress in their communities. Apart from that, displayed here are certain women empowerment reforms taken by our Indian government. First thing is Pradhan Mantri Jandan Yojana. It is for financial inclusion. Then the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana. This is for the self-help groups. Then Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. This is to provide credit access. Then the Prime Minister Rural Digital Literacy Campaign. This is to reduce the digital divide. And there are maternity benefits on Codes on Social Security 2020 and a provision in Codes on Wages mandates equal pay for both men and women. So far we saw about what are the challenges faced by women in the workforce, what are the measures taken, and what are government initiatives. So with these facts, now let us see a mains question. Discuss the challenges faced by women in ensuring workplace safety. What measures should be taken to address these challenges? Illustrate your answer with relevant example. Now try to answer this particular question in the comment section. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now thank you so much for listening.